hear us? Yes. All right, very good. Thank you for joining us today for this press conference about our second community walk. It is scheduled this Saturday, 9:30 a.m. at Hillcrest High School. We will gather at 9:30 and we will start walking at 10 a.m. For those of you that attended or covered the first walk, you know that the crowd was large. You know that the response was great. And it was very encouraging to Bill Gibbons and Stevie Moore, from whence this idea came, for us to continue doing these. And that's really how this came about. Stevie Moore and Bill Gibbons and members of the Memphis Shelby Crime Commission said we've got to do something to make sure the community understands their important role in reducing violent crime. Reducing violent crime, part of it happens here in this building, but the answer to reducing violent crime starts long before a case walks through the door of 201 Poplar. And so seeing that huge community response was very encouraging to us. And before we even got the first walk underway, questions were already underway asking us where we were going next. So we're going to Whitehaven. We've got some speakers here today. Hazel Moore, the Mayor of Whitehaven, will talk about the need for this walk in her community. Mayor Harris is here, as you can see, as well as Stevie Moore and Jerald Trotter, who will give us closing remarks. But we just appreciate you guys being out here and covering this. Again, the second walk is this Saturday, starting 9:30 with assembly and starting to walk at 10. It's a 1.4-mile route. We are going to walk in the rain because guess what? They shoot in the rain. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Stevie.
Thank you, my good friend, District Attorney Amy Wire. I always tease her about she don't look like a district attorney, but that's my good friend. And I want to give special thanks to, I called him, he used to be, I still call him General Gibbons, but Bill Gibbons. Thank him, we came up there and talked about this, bringing this together, and it has turned out that people are getting involved. It's been 17 years ago since I lost my son. And I'm keep fighting. I can't stop fighting. And I want to give a shout out to my wife out there. She's been there by my side forever. But I just want to make it perfectly clear. Thank Mayor Harris for being here with us today, and my good friend, like my sister, Hazel Moore. But this is not just a walk, y'all. We are not on a parade. That's not my idea of what this is about. I don't want to just walk every 2 months through a community and leave and go home. I want to walk to find solutions, what that community needs before we leave. Because what I'm asking is that everybody in any community that want us to walk in that community, give us a shout out. We're planning this on our thinking. But if you want us to come to your community, just call and we'll come to your community. We're just doing this to wake up the consciousness of our neighborhood. And oftentimes, after I've been out here over 20 years fighting this fight, probably 30 years, I was out here before my son got killed, but what is one of the biggest problems in our community, in my opinion, is disconnect between the community and law enforcement. Our black community, we don't trust law enforcement. We won't call law enforcement, even when we need them. And law enforcement don't understand our black community. The reason so much of this is going on because just a disconnect. And my solution is, as the community, as we walk, as we go to each community, hear something, see something, say something. Because I promise you, every homicide, every killing in the community, somebody knows about it. Somebody knew before it happened, after it happened, and when it happened. So I'm just saying thank you all for coming out and being concerned. Again, thank all the officials, all the organizations that came together to make this happen. And we're going to continue to fight this until I lose my last breath. I will continue on this fight. And I see my good friend out there, Calvin Phipps. He's always there for me. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm real pleased to be here to raise awareness around violence and the walk that is planned for Saturday. I want to say thank you to Stevie Moore, freedom from unnecessary violence, unnecessary negatives. He's been doing it so long. So thanks Stevie Moore and his wife for doing this for so long, raising awareness, bringing community together. General Gibbons from the Crime Commission, General Wyrick for convening us here. I actually thought that the walk this year was probably not going to happen because there's so much happening out in the world. But I was sure that the walk needed to happen because there's so much happening right now in the world. And so we know that this is the year of COVID for the last 12 months, and it has affected all of our families, and all of us have made various sacrifices. We're trying as best we can to preserve life and reduce the strain on hospitals, trying to repair our economy. But another fallout from this last 12 months, which have been unlike any before, has been its impact on violence and the rate of violence and what's happened in our neighborhoods and our communities. A couple hours ago, I actually had a meeting at the Rape Crisis Center, which is one of the Shelby County operations, and the meeting was with some of our domestic violence supervisors and counselors. And I heard stories from them that really pointed to the seriousness of this issue right now. That they see lots of turmoil and lots of increased incidents happening in households around our county. And as a lot of you know, it's domestic violence, but actually ultimately can lead to domestic homicide. A lot of the violence we see are people that know each other, and things spiral out of control. And so we've got to raise awareness around the roots of violence, raise awareness around alternatives to violence, and do everything we can, like what's happening here, bringing folks together, making sure there's an emphasis on community, and we got to keep talking about this issue until we bring our violence rates down. So with that, thanks for the invitation, General Wyrick, thanks to all of you, and I think I have the honor of welcoming to the podium the Mayor of Whitehaven, Tennessee, my birth home, Miss Hazel Moore. Thanks very much.
I would just like to thank all of you all that are here, and I would like to thank all of you all that have invited me. I see so many friends and people that I don't want to not call names, but Swaddon, Bill Gibbons, and Steve, who, like I say, we have been working together for so many years. And I would like to say, years ago, I was worked on a task force in Nashville called Stop the Violence. And here again today, I'm here to say it again. I would like to say, we must find solutions to stop this crime. We must continue to join forces and unite with the community, the organizations, and definitely churches, and also the business. And I think with all of us working with all this and all the groups that are out there, we can do solutions to stop this violence in Memphis, Tennessee. We must. We must involve our neighborhoods, community leaders, well, with the local law enforcement, and our leaders in this city. We ask everybody to come together and help us, because there is solution. We all can come up with solutions that can help stop this. And let's start, when we go to Whitehaven, we welcome you there. We're gonna work on Whitehaven, make a change and make a difference. And we welcome you all to come out there, and if you need us again, we will be there. We are concerned about these young people. We can do things to make a difference in their lives. And that's my duty, is to help these young people in order to be successful. Thank God for giving me the life to do some of the things to make a difference in young people's lives. I thank you all for inviting me, and anytime that I can do anything to help this city of Memphis, please give me a call. Thank you.
Morning.
Morning.
Name's Gerald Trotter. For the past 4 years, I've been the face and voice of the FedUp gun crime campaign. I'm a lifelong Memphian, 51 years, born and bred here. I'm proud of my hometown. I love my hometown. I was honored when I got a chance to work with Bill Gibbons with the program. I've taken pride in representing that program around the city, talking to people about it and what we plan to do and what we've been doing. Memphis is a great city, but we are not the size of city that needs to be killing 330 people a year. That's too many people for a city this size. We killed 43 people in 1 month last year. That just made me sick to my stomach. I think we outdid Chicago that month. I talk with these kids, and what we need to do is change their perspectives. What they're doing is they're taking drastic measures on simple matters. We need to check what they're learning that their manhood is, but that's another story. We need to pay more attention to our children. We need to be involved in their lives. We appreciate this gathering. We appreciate the people that are going to show up. We need for people to keep a constant thought about this thing. It needs to be in the back of your mind like putting a seatbelt on when you get in the car. Deal with your children. Talk to them about what's going on in their lives. The parents never know once the guns come into play. You should know before then. I love the city, like I said, and we're going to be there Saturday. We're going to talk to the kids there, and I appreciate you inviting me out here to talk, and I guess that's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you, Gerald.
All right, we'll take a few questions if anybody has any, but just to wrap up, I think it's important to share as well. We had an additional speaker that was to be here today, Erika Kelley from Moms Demand Action. She couldn't be here today, though, because she's in court, the case of the man who murdered her son. And that's where she needs to be, fighting for justice for him. But she will be there Saturday, as she was at the last walk. And if you're sitting at home watching this, if you're wondering what you can do, you've already heard some good ideas about what you can do. If you're still not sure, call Hazel Moore. Here's a woman who perhaps Elvis put Whitehaven on the map, but Hazel Moore keeps it there. And she keeps Whitehaven in our hearts and minds and fights every day. And she can certainly tell you what you can do. Whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you're a college grad, whether you are a high school dropout, whether you're a business owner, she can give you an idea of what you can do. But it starts at home, as you've heard today. So we hope you guys that are here covering this event will all be there Saturday with your walking shoes on. Bring your families. And with that, I'll open it up to any questions, gripes, complaints, or suggestions. Yes, sir.
Obviously, a big crowd came out last time, so could you speak to, the precautions that you guys want to make sure,
Yes, it's almost become, I think a year ago we were always very deliberate in saying social distancing and masks, and now we've kind of come numb to it. But yes, we will be socially distanced. Masks will be required as they were at the first march. We will be observing those same requirements, make sure everybody's safe. And as I said, we're going to walk in the rain. Hopefully it won't rain, but we will walk in the rain.
Are there any families that are going to be specifically mentioned during the walk, or specifically honored or whatnot for their losses, or no?
Not that I know of. I'm looking to Bill Gibbons, who's had more of a hand in the actual. Will there be families that will be recognized or mentioned that have lost loved ones to homicide during the walk?
Specific families?
Yes.
Not to my knowledge, but it's not a bad idea.
Well, and I think some of that kind of came up organically at the first walk. So, if there are family members there from a certain tragedy, then of course, we'd encourage you to speak to them if they care to talk.
There were a lot of family members at the first walk.
Yeah.
Carrying personal signs, so we expect that again.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 3 families have lost their lives in Whitehaven this year so far, and I've reached out to them. They didn't want to come and talk, but they said they will be there. And so we also urging all the families to bring photos of their children, their remembrance in a positive way. Not that their children died, I always tell everybody this. I don't remember my son died. I remember he lived. So we'll encourage everybody to bring photos of your lost loved ones so we can always remember them in a positive way. But there's been 3 in Whitehaven, and I'm reaching out to them, hoping that they'll feel better to come.
Anything else? Any other questions? All right. Well, again, we appreciate you all, and thank you to this great bunch of speakers. See you Saturday.